Yeah, we're here today with Mark, who is the marketing manager from Smells Farm. He also runs this fantastic place here called the Beehive and manages a lot of the branding and the marketing and the exciting stuff that we kind of see pumped out on social media and everywhere else. But yeah, Mark, I'd love to just understand a little bit more, I guess, about your journey with Smells Farm and in particular the Beehive, because that must be just a fascinating journey to go through and really define and look at how to craft a brand from the ground up.
Oh, absolutely. And the Beehive is incredibly unique. Buildings like this don't come about all the time, so the team and myself have been learning as we go in a lot of ways. That's factored in by the Beehives, because it is so unique. It came with a whole set of challenges in terms of how we went to market with it. Being unique, it was actually made life a little bit easier because we were able to be quite disruptive and position ourselves as a market leader because the building is so revolutionary. But at the same time, it caused challenges because it's a completely new offering, and so we had to educate not only residents and potential tenants, but we had to educate the whole sector, especially the real estate agents, on how they can actually go to market and sell this.
So if you were to kind of give me just a short form summary, what is the Beehive?
So the Beehive is Australasia's biggest and smartest co-working building. And it came about, this concept, probably 5 or 6 years ago, when some very smart people recognised that small to medium businesses on the North Shore really don't have a lot of choice when it comes to premium office space. So the Beehive's concept is to give these businesses a big corporate environment with the latest design, the latest tech, the latest infrastructure, community, flexibility, all that. Now this is before co-working was even a thing. Co-working was just coming onto people's radar at that time. So we've been able to ride the co-working wave because it's just exploded in a massive way over the last 5 to 6 years. And really go to market with something that's incredibly disruptive and innovative.
So because the Beehive is really so new, and really I would call this the premium kind of co-working space that actually exists probably in the country. But from your point of view, that must have been a mammoth effort to craft that brand identity and kind of get people to perceive. Who were you trying to attract?
We were trying to attract, we had 2 targets. The first and the primary target was our small to medium businesses on the North Shore, business owners, business decision makers. And then the secondary target was the real estate agents, because they were our advocates, they were our sales team. They're the guys out there beating the bushes, uncovering these businesses who are looking for new office space and telling them about the Beehive and getting them in so we could give them the tour, answer any questions that they had. So we went to market with a pretty full-on integrated marketing campaign. The proposition was the building that's breaking all the rules, which was a nice proposition.
That's the one that attracted us. We like that one.
Very disruptive in a very traditional category, so that was a lot of fun. And there were several things that underpin that proposition. The fact that the flexibility, the ability to change your rent monthly and change your office size, go up and go down. The fact rent was based on employees and not square meter rates as traditionally done, and the fact that there's a big corporate environment. Everything in here is factored into the rent. It's a full turnkey solution. You just need to turn up with your phone and your computer and you're off.
So you had a great first foot forward because the offer is fantastic. The offer is really, really cool.
It makes life easy when you're selling something that is fantastic.
I guess the challenge that a lot of companies face is the fact that it's really, really difficult to get people to kind of really recognise a brand in the community, and so a lot of effort goes into really crafting that identity in a way. What have been those stepping stones for you? How have you kind of shaped and crafted the Beehive brand?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's about, initially the focus was on leasing the building, and we've done incredibly well. In fact, the building's almost full. We think it will be full within 12 months, and that's
incredible.
A really good, it's a really good achievement. There's 150 odd businesses, over 1,000 employees in the building in the space of 12 months.
Crazy.
So the focus is coming off leasing, has come off leasing in a big way, and we're now all about activating the building. So what can we do in here that adds value back to the businesses in the building that make it more than just an office space? And you mentioned before, obviously the Friday drinks, all the beer is free. That's done intentionally, so people get down and socialise, and you get to know everybody, and drives the collaboration and the networking and the socialising, and you just see it happening all the time. The events that we put on, we want TED Talks and speaker series and presentations by business innovators and disruptors that businesses in this building can learn from and take value from, connection with investment networks, all that sort of thing. But, also events. We've got Beehive coming up, which is our way. You know, we've got.
I've seen some great little
all offices are decked out, and you know, we're going to get kids in here at 4 o'clock and they could trick or treat around the office.
Fantastic.
That's low hanging fruit.
There's also a really strong music theme to the building.
That's right.
You know, where has that influence come from?
So that came about actually all cards on the table over a bit of a boozy lunch one day. You know, we have all these meeting rooms. We've got 7 or 8 meeting rooms on each floor. So there's 32 meeting rooms, and then some big event facilities downstairs. And we wanted to give them a vibe and a theme. And there's a strong music theme in the Beehive. So the downstairs floors are all named after big international music festivals. And then each floor is a different genre. So level 1 is hip hop, level 2 is pop, level 3 is electronica, and level 4 is rock. And so each of the meeting pods on those floors are named after a specific artist in that genre. And then we've taken their most famous album artwork and deconstructed it. So
yeah, because on the walls and the windows of the meeting rooms, you've got these album covers, and a lot of people wouldn't know, but you know the colours that come off there are from the covers themselves.
That's right. So we've taken that artwork. You know, and Janine Williams was a well-known sort of street artist, and she assisted us with that, just to give it a bit of vibe and put some colour on the floors, and just have something that people find really cool. You know, and it goes beyond that. All the playlists that play through the speakers have been created by well-known DJs. So there's a real music influence because, you know, at the end of the day, music is, you know, incredibly emotional, and it's just another layer to the Beehive.
Because one of the things I love about being in this environment is the fact that everything feels so crafted, you know, for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And I know that's not by accident. And I know you look at the logos everywhere. It's on the cups that you pick up. It's, you know, on all the material and everything that you send through. So there's all this kind of consistency in the way things look and feel. That hasn't happened by accident, has it?
Absolutely not. It hasn't happened by accident. And you know, the logos that you see around, we're very careful not to be too overt. You can push the boat a little too far out sometimes on that front. We just want to make it a fantastic space that people really enjoy using. And yes, as you alluded to, you know, we've spared no expense and all the shared amenity that people can use. So there's the latest in, you know, chill out areas and breakout zones.
But even you walk into the bathroom and you've got the little patterns and everything that kind of ties in and creates that consistency.
And that's tying back to our desire to give small to medium businesses a big corporate environment. So the amenity and the infrastructure in this building is, you know, typically small to medium businesses couldn't really justify it. But because it's shared amongst all these businesses in here, we've been able to, you know, spare no expense and put in the type of amenity that, you know, is just top dollar, basically. We haven't cut any corners, put it that way.
So talk to me about, you know, the logo and that corporate identity itself. Do you have like a set of rules, or because, you know, a lot of companies, they've got a brand guidelines document which you sit there and you go, cool, we know Vodafone, you know, there's always reds. Yes. McDonald's is another great example of, you know, how their M gets displayed and the colour choices that you get to use. Have you gone down that road with the Beehive?
Absolutely. So we've got a set of brand guidelines that are specific to the Beehive. That also, they give some detail around how the Beehive works with Smiles Farm, because at the end of the day, the overarching brand
of course
is Smiles Farm. Everything that happens on Smiles Farm, including the Beehive, the new hospitality precinct, which we're calling Goodside, which opens on the 1st of December, the events, the activations, everything that happens is all about building equity in Smiles Farm. And that can be challenging sometimes because Beehive is its own brand, but it's also the fact that it's located in Smiles Farm is another unique selling point of the Beehive. It's part of a wider precinct. Yes, you have this fantastic co-working space and community within it, but it's part of a bigger community where we have events and outdoor movies and interactive light festivals and festival.
And there's this amazing sense of community, you know, in all the people and how they engage and interact with each other and how they interact with the concierges on the different levels as well. There's an amazing sense of, you know, just friendship and community in the building.
And that's one thing we couldn't ultimately control, was the businesses that come into the building, what the community's been like, but it's been amazing. The community in this building is amazing. Everybody gets on really, really well. You know, I think part of it is that socializing element, you know, the fact that everyone can get together for a o'clock on a Friday. You know, there's a DJ and there's live music and there's free beer
and the CEO is the DJ.
The CEO is the DJ.
I love it.
That's right. And, you know, and a big influence behind the whole music theme in the building. But it's just that social nature that I think you absolutely need to try and drive those connections and just make everybody feel at home with each other, you know, at home with each other. And the fact they get on, you know, because there could be issues with people, you know, misusing some of the facilities or overbooking meeting rooms and all that sort of stuff, but it just doesn't occur. And yes, we have a concierge team in the building on each floor, You know, there is someone there to go to if there are issues, but everybody just plays really nicely, and the community kind of polices itself. If somebody is, you know, booked a meeting room but they're not using it, well, you know, they sort of get told to pull their head in a little bit. But you know, the fact that self-polices and everybody in here is on the same page, facing the same challenges, you know, all business owners and employees, they're looking to upskill, they're looking for opportunity. You know, that's ultimately why we named the Beehive, which is short for Business Hive. It's all about business. And these days, business needs to entail lifestyle. You know, we've done a lot of research into millennials. They will be the biggest demographic in the New Zealand workforce very soon. These guys are not looking for a 9 to 5 balance, it's all about a 9 to 5 blend. You know, they want entertainment and lifestyle and good food and good coffee and events and activations and easy parking during their working week. You know, community, flexibility, vibrancy, all that sort of stuff. So that's what we're gearing up to meet.
If we just think about, I guess, that process or that journey of building your brand and building, you know, separating that from Smells Farm in a way and kind of crafting its own identity. If you were to kind of take, say, 2 or 3 things that you've learned that you could pass on to other business owners that are also working through that journey of crafting their brands, what would be some of those pieces that you'd hand off and say, these are really important to do through that journey?
Yeah, I think having a unique selling proposition, finding how and why you are different from your competitors and really drilling into that and broadcasting that is absolutely critical. I mean, it's marketing 101. You don't want to be in a price war with competitors. You actually want to be doing things differently. You know, if you are a business that has a lot of competitors and you're ultimately the same, you need to find a way to differentiate yourself, and then you need to focus on that. You need to embellish that through above the line paid marketing comms, yes, but more and more these days social media, really talking about what makes you different.
Because I like to
benefit back to your customers.
Yeah, I like to think that, you know, marketing today and especially brand development is all about, you know, building trust.
Yes.
You know, building authenticity and getting people to kind of see beyond the advertising component to actually what real life is like and what the organisation is like at its heart.
And as they express themselves about that, you're actually capturing that as well and repurposing it through your social media channels or you know, whatever channels you have. You know, that advocacy, that testimonial content that comes from people who have engaged with your brand and appreciate it and have benefited from it. You need to capture that. That's lightning in a bottle. You know, take that and amplify that in a way that's not too overt. But the beauty of the Beehive and Smells Farm is we're not short of content. There's so much that happens here. There's so many businesses in this building and on Smells Farm doing amazing things that we can tap into and, you know, share and embellish and help sort of promote wider for these businesses. All comes back and tells a fantastic story about the Beehive and Smells Farm. So it's exciting times. It's been an exciting project.
Yeah, well, no, I love it, and we're really pleased to be here as well. So we love it. But cool. Hey, we've got an article up if you want to kind of have a bit more about brand and, you know, read about what we would consider, you know, the 5 main points on building a brand, and you want to kind of see the full interview with Mark. Go and check out our website, and you can have a read there.